The main things I want to talk about now are how we prioritize our lives and how we manage our time. So those are the last big things I want to get to here today. So you probably heard this more with like financial freedom people, but live like nobody else, you can live like nobody else, right? So this is not to prop me up in any way, shape, or form, but I'm a good teacher, and I'm an amazing dad, and I'm a really good husband. And I do that because I live my life on purpose. I always know what I need to do, and I don't let frivolous things get in my way. I take my work very seriously. I take my relationships very seriously. So what have I had to give up to do that? I just told you, I don't watch sports. When I was a single man that didn't have the responsibilities I had now, video games and sports were big parts of my life. No doubt about it. I will watch a few minutes of sports a week, and I don't play video games. Those things are just not important to me anymore because I've made my wife and my children and my job my priorities. So I don't live like my other friends do. My friends spend more time on social media. My friends see more funny memes than I do. My friends watch more football games than I do. But I'm better than them, no offense, buddies, I'm better than them at what I do well, which is being a good teacher, being a good dad, and being a good husband. So my life, some people might look at my life and think, wow, what do you do for fun? I enjoy being a dad. Like that's the funnest thing in my day. So I enjoy that. And another thing that's a real blessing for me is my hobbies and my work are basically the same thing. Like I'd be learning the things that I learn to then teach to my students anyways, right? Like I love the fact that I have a captive audience that has to listen to me talk about the cool things that I'm learning. So it's not difficult, but it is. From the outside, you might wonder how I do what I do. So because I work a lot. I commute 13 hours a week. I don't work when my family is awake. So my son is just always the priority. So he might see me work 5 minutes a week, and I still accomplish everything I do. So, but I have to sacrifice things. So we'll talk about this idea. I like to talk about the 4 burners method and how you prioritize your life. And we all have to understand though that we can't prioritize everything. So that's just kind of my thing, and this is how I do it. It's real simple for me. That's the screensaver, whatever you call it, the background on my computer. When I go to work, or I get on a computer to check the sports scores, and then I see this, I matter more, Daddy. That's the first thing I see anytime I sit down on my computer. And a lot of times I'll be like, I was gonna see how Iowa's doing right now, and honestly I don't care. So and I may even just leave. But that is how I frame my entire life. The fact that my job matters a lot to me. It really does. But he matters more. And he matters way more than video games and sports, which are the 2 things that used to consume tons of my life. There was a year I watched every Chicago Cubs game on TV. I was either at home to watch it or I recorded it. That's 162 baseball games in a year. Whatever year, I don't even know the year, and the Cubs are a big part of my life. My grandmother was a Cubs fan. It was like our major connection. I took a W flag out to her grave after they won the World Series, but I never sat down and watched any of those games. I watched a little bit of the games during the World Series until it was time to put my son to bed. And then I did what I had to do. So I would say I love the Cubs, but I love knowing how they're doing. I don't actually spend the hundreds and hundreds of hours it would take to really pay attention. So they're just not a priority anymore because he is. So, all right, so you have to prioritize your priorities. And if you have a number 1 priority, which we all do, so I want you thinking about that. What is your number 1 priority? By default, nothing else gets to be the number 1 priority. So as much as I love my job, and even as much as I love being a husband, being a dad is my priority at this time in my life. And that's the thing about the 4 burners method. Burners are going to be turned on and off, up and down. There will come a time, my teenagers, they really don't care. They don't really care that I exist, right? So there will come a time then that he may not be the main burner. I mean, he's always going to be the most important thing, but he's not going to demand as much time and energy, especially when he's off of college, right? So he's not always going to be the number 1 burner, but he is my number 1 priority right now, and doesn't mean that the other priorities aren't critically important to me, but they don't get to be number 1. And that's why. So I've built a life to show that. Warren Buffett, the difference between great people and really great people is the ability to say no. I love this. So what are you saying no to? So just like if I ask students, is Twitter more important than your future? They would never say yes, but their actions might say differently. What are you saying no to when you say yes? Anytime that you waste, and you should waste some time. There are times you should do nothing. Your brain needs a break. You should schedule times when you're just going to put your brain on autopilot. But if you are wasting time, by saying yes to that, you did say no to something. Because I have 24 hours today. So if I waste an hour today, that's an hour less with my family, which I wouldn't let it affect that. Hour less sleep, that happens all the time. Ask my students how many, sleep is very important, and I understand how important it is, but it's not my number one priority. So I'll send out emails to students with a new article about the importance of sleep at midnight. I know that it's, I can't practice what I preach all the time because I'm not going to say no to my wife, no to my job, to say yes to sleep. So that's just how it is. But so these are the kind of things you're saying no to when you say yes to wasting your time.